Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Royal Sussex Live. Welcome, one and all. Thank you so much for being here. I did not know that microphone was on. I'm glad I didn't do anything gross. I did not realize it was on. I was like, wait a minute, why do I see my face? Speaking of which, check out those beautiful cheekbones. I haven't seen cheekbones like that since Megan arrived in Paris. Okay, but that's enough about that. All right, perfection. Ethereal. I love that word, ethereal. Okay. So, I don't think we'll be here more than an hour. Hello, Gwendolyn Daniels. Thank you so much for being here first. Hey, Cookies and Cream. Sussex Teen Warrior, Mary H. Oh, someone sent me a PayPal earlier. Thank you so much for that. Uh, yep. Okay. Let's get on with it. So, don't forget you all, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex will be in New York. When is that? The 9th of October? Yeah, I think it's the 9th. Yeah. I think it's the 9th. Anyway, if you know what the date is, put it in the chat. I kind of lost track, but I think it's just in 2 days, right? Or is it tomorrow? Oh, and October the 8th, 1871. That is the anniversary of the Great Chicago Fire, one of the biggest fires in the history of the United States, the Great Chicago Fire. 17,000 buildings were lost. It was a very dry, arid summer. Only 2.5 inches of rain most of the summer. I think it was from July until October. There was like about 2.5 inches of rain, if that. And anyway, when Mrs. O'Leary's barn caught on fire, a blaze that would destroy most of what was known as Chicago at that time. Wow. Anyway, I'll talk about it some more tomorrow. Um, Start spreading the news. I'm leaving today. I want to be a part of it. Good old New York. I want to wake up in a city that never sleeps, to find I'm king of the hill, cream of the crop, top of the heap. Those little town blues. Are you all kicking your feet out? I'm leaving to stay. I'll make a brand new start of it in old New York. Yes, New York, New York. If you can make it there, you can make it anywhere. Which, they stole that from Chicago, right? It's Chicago, Chicago. If you can make it there, you'll fail every place else. Yeah, they stole our phrase. It's really Chicago, Chicago. If you can make it there, you'll fail every place else. Okay. Um, all right, I'm good. So, Stalker came within yards of Prince Harry on UK visit. That is very disturbing. And because there's been so much about Paris that we kind of let that slip past us. But I want you to take a look at that circle. As a matter of fact, I could do better than that. Take a look at that circle. You see that red circle right there? That is stranger danger, but not so strange. The reason why is because Harry's team and the police, they know who that person is. A known stalker came within feet of the Duke of Sussex on two separate occasions during his recent visit to the UK. The Telegraph can reveal this information because, well, they've been following it closely. The woman who may suffer from a mental health issue entered a secure zone at the Central London Hotel at which the Duke was attending the Well Child Awards on September 9th. 2 days later, she was spotted within a stone's throw of the Duke at the Center for Blast Injury Studies in West London. Security sources said she is said to have previously followed him to Nigeria. She followed him to Nigeria. A member of the Duke's private staff recognized the woman and body blocked her to ensure that she could not get any closer, despite not knowing if she was carrying a weapon. There was no police present at this event. There were no police at this event. But remember, Harry is safe, right? The woman is on a list of fixated individuals drawn up by private intelligence company for the Duke's personal protection team. She has a history of following the Duke and Duchess of Sussex all over the world and was seen during a visit to Abuja, Nigeria last year. Scotland Yard declined to comment on the two incidents, stating that, well, you know, the usual, we don't talk about stuff like that. Yeah, right. Anyway, mm-mm-mm. The incidents are likely to be used by the Duke as proof of the risk he faces and which is faced by those around him as he continues to pursue the right to a full risk assessment of his security arrangements despite losing a legal challenge against the government. Now, Prince Harry has not had a full security assessment since 2019. 2019. That was the last time that he's had a full security assessment. That's way too long. A friend said the Duke felt enormous guilt that his high profile had put others around him at risk, citing it as one of the reasons why his visits to the UK are so infrequent. It should be left to two officers staffed to act as extra eyes and ears or provide a physical barrier. That should not happen. It is only going to take one motivated lone individual for this to go south very quickly. The Duke has no right to guaranteed state backed police protection when he visits the UK. Each visit is assessed on its merits by the Executive Committee for Protection of Royalty and Public Figures, also known as RAVAC. Earlier this year, the Duke lost the High Court. Listen, I don't care nothing about all that. Let me just tell you this. All they need to know is that Harry's father is a head of state. And I don't know too many countries where the head of state's children are not receiving round the clock police protection. If they're not receiving that, then they should, especially one of the Western industrialized nations like the United Kingdom or the United States or Canada or Mexico or just about any place else in most of Europe. And I can assure you that means a lot of places in Asia and so on. But this is horrendous. They should not treat him like this. His father is the head of state. He has served in the military. He has been known by the certain individual groups as a likely target. This should not happen like this. His father is paying for his brother's security or has paid for Andrew's security. I suppose he is still paying for them. He paid for Camilla's security, which I think is a waste of money because let me tell you something. I don't know too many people who run up on her. You know what I'm saying? You run up on her too fast. I listen, I would lose my nerves after I got within a couple of feet. I'd be like, you know what? You know what? I'm cool. I'm cool. You know what I'm saying? So again, that is the person who's touched, and I don't mean by an angel. That person is touched a bit, and trust me, it's not Della Reese in a Cadillac. Okay, it's not Della Reese in a Cadillac. She's touched, but not by an angel. Meghan Sussex is trolled for Paris video because the internet is the worst yet again. Yes, Meghan is trolled by the internet because, well, you know, the internet is a pretty dodgy place. And that being said, I'm actually going to make one of my handy videos about this, but I can tell you this so far. Another day, another Meghan controversy. This time it is an Instagram video. A few seconds of Paris at night shot from the back of a car, seemingly innocent clip that anyone might take on a Parisian vacation. But the Duchess of Sussex's case, everything she does is ripe for interpretation. So, wasn't that one of the first arguments that I made? Is that I wasn't thinking about Diana at that time. All I was thinking about is this is the obligatory image of Paris at night riding in a Uber or a taxi, or in this case, a limousine or some van that was kitted out or something. And people do that all the time. Take images of the night, take images of the day. You just kind of point your phone around the city as if to say, hey, I'm here. But for Meghan, it was also related to the fact that she and her team had worked very hard to make this a memorable night and to celebrate with people like you and me. We get some images of the night and Meghan putting her feet up to say, huh, job well done. That was it. It was all very sweet and innocent. I rather enjoyed it. But of course, leaving it to those negative people, those bitter Bettys, to come up with some kind of storyline to run parallel to everything I just said. But because people tend to find themselves drawn to controversy, that storyline of theirs became quite dominant. And it's unfortunate. But do not let that dampen your spirits. Do not allow that to happen. Because whatever that's been said, we all know why it happens. It's because they're
bitter. And you know, somebody needs to say it. Bitter. Bitter, bitter, bitter.
It's because they're bitter. Bitter, bitter, bitter. So don't worry about it, guys. Just remember, our Duchess looked absolutely flawless. She looked flawless, beautiful, people are still talking about it. Now, this girl is said to be one of the people that spread these terrible stories. According to Muriel, she may not exactly be the first, but she was early. We do know she was very early in on the attack. Um, but she made a video to apologize. She took it back. It's a bit too little too late, but she took it back. Um, I actually translated some of the conversation there, which you can barely see it, but let me do my best here. It says, okay, so Clara says, no matter what she does, people will always find something to say, no matter the hotel or anything else. The next person says she was at the Plaza Athene. That is the hotel, not the Ritz. This girl seems to, I think she believes that Meghan was staying at the Ritz, but it's just like she filled in stuff that she didn't know. And of course, things that was not applicable. Next, it says, thank you very much for the clarification. And then after that is something, just a bunch of emojis. And then lastly, thanks for the info. We subscribe to support you. Well, I don't know what she said. It was in French. And, but yeah, so she admitted to the mistake. You guys, it's not always that people are trying to be sinister, but people are always looking for the viral video and they're always trying to be first. They think that if they get in there early, that they can, even if it's not viral, get more views for the sake of being early. But it also can lead to a lot of mistakes. You can fill in certain portions of the story that you couldn't possibly have the information or is just totally non-existent. So, oh well, I'm very frustrated by this. But one of the things that I try to remember about anyone, including people that do some pretty dodgy things, a lot of people are just hitching their wagon to something that's been here, right? And so a lot of hatred and intolerance and such does not originate with the person that is in hot water, the person who I hopefully can say has made a mistake, but sometimes they're just being malicious. But it is part of society now. The pessimism and sarcasm, especially where news is concerned, it is what drives engagement. It's what drives the clicks. And she is just one of probably a billion people on social media that are all trying to do the same thing for whatever reason. So I just hope that more often than not, people will understand some of the damage that they can cause by trying to be first, by trying to be provocative. They can cause a lot of damage. They can really hurt people. Yes, Maurice Brown, thank you for pointing that out. Yeah, sometimes it is just as malicious as it seems, but I try to give people the benefit of the doubt, but sometimes it's not easy. Just like when someone pointed out that Kate wore a gray suit right after this whole thing of the men in gray, and I'm just like, do I really want to have sympathy for someone who can be so malicious? I had to rethink everything. Okay, so that brings us to Daniel Martin. I love Daniel Martin. I love I love him for loving our Duchess. I do. I love him for loving our Duchess, for being there for her. I mean, he just seems like such a solid person. And thank God she has someone that she can trust in her life. Yeah, and she has several people like that. It's not just Daniel, but there's several people that has been with our Duchess for the long haul. And I'm so glad to know that. So let me play this for you. And let's hope my phone does not give me the blues like it's capable of doing sometime. What I got they used to call the blues. Okay. Come on, Daniel. You can do this, sir. I am counting on you, sir. Uh-oh. Daniel.
Me and James have just.
Okay.
Just wanted to pop on and say thank you so much for all the love and support. It's been so overwhelming, to be honest. Like, you guys really took to this makeup. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. Ben, too, we're just kind of dumbfounded by all the love. But I wanted to jump on here and just kind of share what I used and how I used it. I did my usual skin prep with her, which was a lot of Tatcha. And I'm not saying that because I'm with the brand, but it's a skincare ritual that has been in my kit and I use on all my clients for years. The switch up was I actually mixed the Tatcha Longevity Serum in with the foundation. And I think that added another layer of radiance to her makeup that just made her look even more juicy and glowy. I use foundation a lot with my hands. So when I apply it, I'm applying it like a massage, like I do with my skincare. I'll go in with a brush to add more coverage, and then I use a sponge to blend it out, but I never apply foundation with a sponge, and I never apply foundation directly to the brush to the face. Regarding powder, she has powder only in the T-zone of her face. There's no loose powder all over. I just wanted to knock out the shine that happens in the middle of her forehead and around her nose. And that powder I used was a Paris Berlin press powder. Their makeup brand local to Paris. You can only get it in Paris, I believe. And every time I'm in Paris, I always go there to shop. It's like a theatrical industry makeup store, which is awesome. Her cheek is the Tom Ford Contour Cream. I only use the contour. I kind of use it like a bronzer. And on top of it was the Tatcha Serum Stick. So it gave that added radiance to that. We just wanted to keep everything light, fresh, radiant. Just flew in, and your skin gets dehydrated from the plane. So I just wanted to bring some hydration back into her skin and just bring some life to it. Her lipstick, I had several Tom Ford lipstick options, and the one that she chose was Iconic Nude, which is like this beautiful mauve pink. And we used Makeup Forever lip liner. And that was pretty much it. Her eyeshadow was just like browns, did a halo effect, mascara. I introduced her to this MAC mascara, which she loved. It was all about like beautiful structured brows, keeping everything fresh and polished. When you come from fashion like I do, it's not about the makeup. It's about just looking beautiful, radiant, polished, skin. I would love to get her in a lip one day. Megan, if you're watching this, let's do a lip. I'd love to see you in a lip. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Just wanted to pop on and say thank you so much for all the love and support.
Okay. So, guess what, you guys? You could either take a screenshot or go over to the community post because I am actually putting it over there as we speak. I'm gonna put the what he just said. I'm gonna put that over there right now, so you can have an opportunity to see everything for yourself. Okay. So let me just throw one more slide over there, and then you too can have that beautiful radiant skin, just like our Duchess. Mm-mm-mm. So, there we go. And I got to put something here so you know what it is. Megan's makeup. How about that? Okay, there we go. All right. So let's see here. Lizzie Beth, thank you so much for the thank you so much for the oh super chat. Elizabeth says, went down rabbit hole on AI chat. Said Mary Queen of Scots had blood of black nobility. I'm sorry. I just drank a smoothie. And it's going down the worst possible way. Hidden in plain sight, born of two worlds, feared by all monarchs. It said gingers are the link to, is that erase African nobility? Erased. What is that word? Anyway, they're the link to African nobility. Is that correct? You know, I keep hearing that. And when you think about the fact that a lot of gingers do have freckles. Now, also, I'm going to throw in there has been at least one redhead in my family, right? And there's been one, well, let me see. Yeah, kind of a brownish hair in my family. So, which is interesting too, because, okay, myself and my older brother, we look alike. We look alike. And why am I saying that? Because we both look like our father. And somewhere, I don't know if it just skipped the DNA, skipped the, or genes had skipped here or there. But you know, sometimes things come out when they want to, and he has somewhat brownish hair. At least when it was brown, now it's white, but he had somewhat brownish hair. So, you know, what can I say? I do think, and also according to my DNA, I do have Irish and Scottish ancestry. Uh, you know, common ancestors somewhere there. Like, I forgot what the percentage is, but I think it's like 9% or something like that. Anyway, but yeah, I have some common ancestors that were Scottish and Irish. So there you go. Um, it is very much possible that somewhere that is in my blood. Yes, there's a little white man inside of me that's trying to get out. But thank you so much for that, Lizzie Beth, and thank you for the super chat. Uh, okay, I'm gonna have to look into that though. I'd be kind of curious to read up on that. So, Connie Balmer. Hey, Connie Balmer. Connie Balmer, do you know I am literally looking at all three of those colorful boxes that you sent. I love those boxes almost as much as I love the gifts that were inside of them. I saved those boxes. I carefully peeled the labels off of those. I think I'm gonna use those to gift at Christmas. I might keep one for myself, but I'm gonna use those for regifting at Christmas. I just think they're amazing, and the fact that they make it all the way here, almost totally undamaged, is incredible. So, thank you again. I'm literally looking right at them. Okay. Yeah, that's true, Connie Bomber. There's a little bit of this and that in some of all of us. You know, and when some people say that they're part this, part that, right? The thing is, it just means that you had a common ancestor somewhere. But who's to say that that common ancestor had not migrated or hadn't, you know what I'm saying? Uh, Common ancestor could mean a lot of things. So let's see here. What did I leave off? I left off with Daniel. Okay. So, yeah, that was Daniel thanking all of you all for the love and the support that has been given to both him and, of course, let's not forget the guy who creates those amazing hairstyles for the Duchess of Sussex. So, all right. So this is the big controversy. Meghan puts her feet up. Now, I'm assuming on the right side, there's Meghan, the one that does the hair, and there's Daniel. I'm going to guess Daniel's on the right side. Well, I just, I think it's just so out of touch and disrespectful. I don't mind the bridge so much. I hate the idea that they put their feet on the seats. Um, Let me tell you something. A lot of things go on in the back of taxis and limousines. Okay, a lot of things. The good thing is that they clean them. I'm going to just assume. I mean, I don't even need to say this. I don't think that they have walked through doggy poo and stuck their feet up on the chairs like that. Um, there is no anticipation, or should I say, there is no rule that says when you rent these vehicles that you cannot make yourself comfortable. So it's just a reason to keep the hate going. Meghan has had such a huge effect on the fashion industry. Meghan, Rachel Meghan Markle, aka Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, aka Meghan Sussex, also known as Meghan Sussex. What Meghan has done for the fashion industry, that level of attention, you know, usually they say Kim Kardashian is one of the people that usually has that place of honor during Paris Fashion Week. Do you know how many times I have casually glanced at Kim Kardashian, wherever she is? It's very casual. It's not exciting. Meghan is of another world of excitement. Ted Sarandos said whether you like her or you hate her, it does not matter. You're still watching. Okay? You're still watching. Now, I don't know why the labels are missing from this. When I took the screenshot, the information disappeared. So let's go from right to left. Where that dot is located, that is where they had the Balenciaga show. And then that arrow, I believe that is where Meghan went for dinner, right? And then, okay, they want to go back to the hotel. So as you can see, they start rolling, take a 45-degree turn right, 45-degree turn left. And then, like so many people trying to navigate around the city of Paris, you find yourself riding along the river. All right. The next arrow, or the second arrow, that is the uh, Alexander III Bridge. That is where Meghan's phone was aiming into the night. The video was all but 3 seconds, if that. Very short video. I mean, there just wasn't much to it at all. And if it was anybody else, nobody would have noticed. But because it's the Duchess of Sussex, it is amplified in a way that is not only bizarre, but it's just ridiculous. All of that ain't even called for. But, you know, it's Meghan, and they're going to do the most. So they did the most. And that type of I suppose vitriol is a good word. It's just born out of spite and jealousy. That's where it comes from. Is you have a lot of these middle-aged bitter betties, right? And then you have a lot of people that are otherwise just anxious to find a trendy video or whatever. They want to go viral. And they want to go viral for all the wrong reasons. But whatever the case may be, it really didn't work. People are still in awe of what happened. I know I am. And I tell you, that is one for the record books. It really is. That is one for the record books. Now, I am going to share with you the video. I'm going to share that with you so you can see for yourself. Let me see. Is this it? Okay, I'd better just go ahead and do this. Wait, come on here, you. All right, let's take a look at it one more time. All of that. And they are ready to hoist the gallows up. They're ready to put up the gallows. They want to send Meghan to the Tower of London, where you see the yellow sign with the arrow, the red arrow, the second red arrow, and that yellow, sign right there. That is where the video was taken. Okay? A few seconds, and she turns the phone off or, puts her phone away. And then they continue. Make that right turn, cross the bridge, and on to the hotel. Now, where okay, I think where Princess Diana's horrible accident occurred is the black square with the arrow. I think that's it right there, where that black square is located. I believe that was it. I'm trying to recall because, like I said, I don't know why the information did not come with the map when I grabbed it, but it certainly did not. So, as you can see, there, I'm guessing that's like what, a mile, 3/4 of a mile. I'm sorry, I don't know what that is in meters, but whatever it is, the the phone had been put away already and or switched off, powered down, whatever. And then that was the end of it. And so people that probably are not familiar with Paris decided, and they probably were thinking about this already, searching for some kind of parallel to Princess Diana, which is so unfortunate. But they were searching for something, trying to identify something that they can make this connection. And well, they found something. You really had to do some real mental gymnastics to make that a story. But it's okay because they all have enough time on their hands to do exactly that. And that is to try to make something out of nothing. The other thing that they are trying to stoke the flames of discontent is the way Meghan walked. That confident walk out of the venue, well, in and out of the venue, that too was enough to, you know, get people's dander up. Okay, so you probably guessed while I was talking, I was trying to find that map, and I did. And I could see how when you try to lift it, the information does not come with it. But I'm going to share it with you right now. Okay, here goes. There you go. So there's the Llama Tunnel, Point de Llama Tunnel. As I said, the black box right there. And notice they say presumed route. They're not exactly sure that that's the route that was taken, but that is the presumed route. Okay, that is the presumed route. I mean, okay, it makes sense. It makes sense. So, Balenciaga show. I think that one arrow represents the stop at the restaurant, but maybe it doesn't. I'm not sure. Yeah, that's it. This is what they've built their case upon. Pretty ridiculous, I know, but there you have it. Hi, Antoinette Kennedy. Huh. Okay, let's get back over here. I love this pic right here. There's so much going on. You got Meghan looking over her shoulder to the camera, and you can see the flash of that one camera in particular. You can see the very large security agent there, security guy. And of course, you have the doorman tipping his hat. Everybody has a role to play. I love that. Everybody has a role to play. Yes, what a gentleman. Now, okay, this was shady AF. This was shady. Meghan posts insensitive video of herself passing Diana crash tunnel. Um, fine. They said what they said. It happens to be a lie. Um, she was nowhere near the tunnel, but that's not what sells papers. So okay, so they're selling papers. But if the trade off is this photo, if the trade off is this photo, it does not in any way make up for telling the lie. But God, she looks good, right? Lord have mercy. How beautiful. And we all know that this is the Getty image. And the Getty people do not do any adjustments to the photos. That is done after people purchase the rights to the photo, if they choose to do that. But yes, it is a crappy headline, but oh, that photo, she is serving face. The face card is approved. Cha-ching. Cha-ching. That face card is always approved. Radiant, beautiful, shady headline and all. Now, why Princess Kate is skipping the Earthshot Prize? That's interesting. I wonder why. But Kate is not going to the Earthshot. William is going to go by himself. Well, William will travel without his wife. I shouldn't say he'll be by himself. I'm pretty sure he is just one pulled pork sandwich away from one of the best trips of his life. Yeah. William doesn't travel anywhere without the local listing for a pulled pork sandwich. So don't worry. Lonely, he is not. He is not going to be alone for long. Well, you know what I mean. The British media's reaction to Meghan Sussex's Paris Fashion Week appearance. Well, what say you, Feminegra? What say you, Feminegra? Well, I tell you what, the British media is truly doing the most. Okay, where is that story? Ah, the British media reaction. Oh, there it is right there. All right. So it says Meghan, Duchess of Sussex, returned briefly to the European spotlight with a surprise appearance at the Balenciaga Spring Summer 2026 show in Paris. Okay, I'm going to skip that bit. The appearance drew widespread attention not only from fashion outlets, but also from Britain's newsrooms, where her appearance once again became the topic of national debate. While international media focused on the creative collaboration between the Duchess and Balenciaga's new creative director, much of the British commentary shifted quickly from fashion to politics. The contrast revealed a familiar, that is, pattern where others saw a confident woman supporting a designer debut. Um, Sections of the UK press saw something to scrutinize, which they did. The front page fascination. The Sunday Telegraph gave Meghan's appearance prominent front page treatment with the headline, Meghan Makes Her Mark. The choice of placement alongside coverage of domestic politics and foreign affairs shows her continued ability to command attention in Britain even from afar. Yes, she did do that, didn't she? Let me see. I see green. Let's see. Ollie B just became a member. Thank you so much for that. Thank you for becoming a member of Royal Sussex, which starts at just $4.99. And listen, you guys, I prefer you do your memberships at the YouTube because it's just so much easier. I tried using Patreon. That got confusing. I want you guys to be able to use the stickers and of course to be what do you call the word I'm looking for, to receive the acknowledgement that you are a member of Royal Sussex. So if I use one of those other platforms, it doesn't show up. It doesn't connect to the YouTube. So it's just fine by me and easier for everybody involved. Plus, you get a chance to use those stickers. And when I do those member only videos, right, when we have those member only chats, you are also able to watch those, which we're going to do another one very soon. So that is what you get with your membership. So thank you again. Remember, the price is just $4.99. And of course, for that price, just think about giving up 1 cup of coffee once a month. That is how much the membership costs. And it goes a long way to support Royal Sussex. Okay? All right. Hey, Hazel Jones, thank you for being here. Wow, you're a member too. And Connie Balmer and Sonia Johnson. And who else is a member? Ali B. Yeah. And let me see. Well, it's a few of y'all. Well, how come I don't see anybody else? Anyway, I know you're out there. Okay, so let's go here. The British media headline spotlight Meghan Sussex's surprise Paris Fashion Week debut in Balenciaga. Her photograph taken as she entered the Hotel de Ville appeared with the same prominence once given to royal tours and state events. The message was unmistakable. Years of stepping back from royal duty, the Duchess still anchors Britain's media focus. What could have been treated as a simple fashion appearance instead became a statement piece used to measure her relevance. God, Feminager writes amazing. Isn't that beautiful? At the same time, the contrast was striking. Prince William, the future king, was promoting his interview with actor Eugene Levy. Yet the coverage barely registered. His appearance struggled to find space on front pages that devoted prime placement to Meghan. Ooh, I bet you know he mad. The juxtaposition underlined a familiar reality for all the royal branding and media management. The Duchess of Sussex continues to command the kind of attention others can only dream of. Question of safety and security, as imagined from Paris, circulated online. A number of British commentators revisited the ongoing discussion around the Sussex's security arrangement. One broadcaster described it as interesting that Meghan felt safe attending Fashion Week in France, but not visiting the UK. You want to know what's different? Want to know what's different? Did you see those guys that was walking with Meghan? That's what was different. Now, I don't know what the security precautions and protections are, but I'm going to say that your sis was well protected. It was a very obvious level of protection. And as far as we know, there has not been any incidents on the road. So, from what I can see, everything went extremely well. British commentators question Meghan Sussex's Paris Fashion Week visit, exposing UK media fixation. Yeah, they're fixated. Richard Eden, a longtime critic of the Sussexes, appeared to overlook a well documented record of threats against the couple, many of which were amplified by online networks and elements of the British press that continue to profit from hostility toward them. Those threats are not hypothetical. In 2018, Scotland Yard investigated a letter containing white powder sent to Meghan, threatening, treating, it as a racist hate crime. The following year, two neo-Nazi teenagers were jailed after calling Prince Harry a race traitor and sharing violent images online. Earlier in 2019, a BBC radio host was dismissed after comparing Prince Archie, that is, to a chimpanzee. In 2020, a man in Manchester was arrested after police discovered racist images of their young son, Archie, among extremist material on his phone. Each case underscored the tangible risks the Sussex family face, risk far beyond the realm of tabloid speculation. In 2023, courts convicted Christopher Gibbons and Tyrone Patton Walsh for hosting a neo Nazi podcast that incited violence toward Prince Harry and Meghan, branding their son an abomination. In the years since, police investigations have continued to uncover credible risks tied to coordinated harassment campaigns. Now, the gentleman that you see there, that is Neil Basu, who uh, used to do this kind of stuff in Britain. And well, anyway, he is an expert when it comes to that. And let me just let you listen to what he had to say about it. Okay, Neil. What say you, Neil?
The Home Office is run by a woman of Indian heritage.
I find some of the commentary coming out of the Home Office inexplicable.
You think you have the dream to send refugees to Rwanda, for example?
Yes.
What kind of impact did that have on you, that kind of language?
It is unbelievable to hear a succession of very powerful politicians who look like this talking in language that my father would have remembered from 1968. It's horrific.
The Home Office is run by a woman of Indian heritage.
I find some of the commentary coming out of the Home Office inexplicable.
You think you have the dream to send refugees to Rwanda, for example?
Yes.
What kind of impact did that have on you, that kind of language?
It is unbelievable to hear a succession of very powerful politicians who look like this talking in language that my father would have remembered from 1968. It's
okay. That wasn't exactly the right one, but all right, never mind. Let's keep it moving. Was I through with that? Yeah, I think I was. Okay. So inside Meghan Sussex's glam squad triumph as Daniel and Ben share the spotlight in Paris. I don't think I need to do that one. Let me just take a look just in case there's anything that I missed. Let's see, long before the cameras flashed, Meghan was surrounded by people she has trusted for years as her image circulated across global press and social media. So too did the names of those who helped shape it. Let's see. Glam with history and intention. Inside the Paris suite, makeup artist Daniel Martin and hairstylist Ben Skirvin worked quietly but confidently. Martin first met Meghan in 2009 and later became a trusted part of her professional team, crafting her iconic wedding look in 2018, crafted a bronze sculpted face, and finished with Tom Ford's runway lip color, an iconic nude. Skirvin, known for his work with Kate Blanchett, Jessica Chastain, is that right? And Margot Robbie, styled her hair into a signature sleek, centered parted look. Their presence was emblematic. Meghan has never cycled through glam teams for novelty or optics. She's worked with professionals she's known well and continued to elevate them at every opportunity. I think that's good right there. Let's see. Well, let's do this one more part. This has to do with loyalty teamed with deep roots. Daniel Martin place in Meghan's public life is well established. From global events to Netflix appearances, he has remained a creative constant. In in with Love Meghan, he joined her in California for a cooking segment that shows both his artistry and their personal rapport. It is not the first time he's featured. He's been credited in official communications and press coverage dating back to the royal wedding, where his softly defined makeup look drew praise for its natural elegance. And Skirvin shares a similar dynamic. His presence in Paris wasn't just about executing a hairstyle, it reflected years of trust and creative alignment. Off camera, the two are close friends. Both Martin and Skirvin were among the first to receive gifted boxes from Meghan's lifestyle brand As Ever, which they promoted enthusiastically on their platforms. The gesture felt sincere, another example of how she keeps her circle visible, appreciated, and part of the story. Okay, so I'll leave it there. That was about it anyway. Moving on. Okay, so Megan does draped monochrome dressing in black and white for Balenciaga show during Paris Fashion Week. That, of course, is women's wear daily. I do believe that they've been around for 115 years. So believe me, it is a great honor if you find yourself on the cover of Women's Wear Daily. And guess what? That's all I'm going to say. Yep, she did that. Let's move on. Oh yeah. Oh, no wonder I didn't have it on the other screen. It's right here. Adding drama. Meghan exchanged. Okay. Uh-huh. Okay. Yeah, I think we're good. Now, Vogue, the British Vogue. I don't have anything for this. I'm thinking about doing one of my videos later, because this features the black dress, all of her black dresses. So maybe, maybe not. If I get around to it, I will do a video for the British Vogue with the black dresses. But let me see how I feel about that. And then there's this. This is from the Guardian. The Guardian wrote a pretty nice article, I think. Okay. It says here, nicest man in fashion reconciles couture roots with streetwear era, while Celine shows French girl chic with an American tone. New names at Dior and Chanel have generated the most noise at this Paris Fashion Week. By the way, in case you didn't hear, there's a bunch of people that are just starting as creative directors this year. It's like the creative directors have been shuffled and new directors named. So that's why this year's Paris Fashion Week was so important, is because I don't know the exact number, but there's a bunch of new people that are taking the role as creative director. In some cases, it's a lateral move. They just moved from one fashion house to the other. So that's why this year had so much buzz and excitement. And that's only part of it, because the other excitement was Meghan's appearance. That was the huge excitement right there. So you had this big shuffle and shakeup, and then, of course, Meghan. So the new names at Dior and Chanel have generated the most noise at the Paris Fashion Week, but it was Balenciaga's debut that brought the media storm with the front row coup. Meghan, Duchess of Sussex, making her first European appearance in 3 years. On Saturday night in Paris, Dior, Chanel, and Lauren Sanchez, who also attended the show, were all outdone for razzle dazzle. Until that point, the mood music around Pierpaolo Piccoli debut had felt relatively serene. Balenciaga is a venerated house, and Piccoli a world-leading designer, but he also beloved for being the nicest man in fashion. And it was assumed that catwalk stunts had left the Balenciaga building with the departure of provocateur designer Demna Faguchi. But even nice guys pull surprises sometimes. And the royal benediction turned up the hoopla. Meghan's choice of Balenciaga, a French house founded by a Spaniard with an Italian designer, was notable for the absence of any links to Britain. Oh no! You mean to tell me Meghan didn't have any type of way to give a nod to Britain? No, I guess it wasn't meant to be. That's too bad. Maybe next time. So yeah, you guys, I just cannot say it enough. The Duchess was a huge hit. Everybody, and I do mean everybody, was oh, I'm sorry. Did I not turn the page? Oh, yeah, well anyway, that's where I was getting it from. And then here are some of the comments from social media that I thought you would like to hear. This outfit is immaculate, but hear me out. I don't think a lot of people can pull it off. It's almost like it was made just for her. She looks like she's about to sign a $1 billion contract. It's given rich, rich. Love it. And then the next one, Balenciaga won Best Marketing of the Year with Meghan. I'm certain more fashion houses will do anything to have Meghan attend their shows. uh, yes, I'm sure they will do anything to have Meghan attend their shows. Okay, what's next? Meghan Sussex look was flawless. She didn't pretend, she did it herself. Oh, that's from Feminagra. I thought I recognized that name. Elaine Parker, thank you so much for the super sticker. And also, I thank your bladder for, making sure that you're here. Oh, as it is about breakfast time there. So thank you so much for being here. All right. And then let's see, held at Balenciaga's headquarters, Bacoli's debut show got off to a spectacular start when the last front row guest whisked in wearing all white. All hail Meghan Sussex. This was undoubtedly the biggest celebrity get of the week, and gasps could be heard in the room and on the social media video that captured her entrance moments before the show began. Well, you know what they say, perfect timing. And then last comment from one of our squaddies says, y'all, Meghan in Paris broke them. Meghan's choice of Balenciaga, a French house founded by a Spaniard with Italian designer, was notable for the absence of any links to Britain. Why does that tickle me? Anyway, now I got another soundbite for you, but take a look there on the left side. Meghan in Paris, the Duchess joins the front row set. Meghan's arrival at Paris Fashion Week wearing custom Balenciaga. Let me see, which magazine was that? I don't know which one that was. Anyway, you guys, I'm enjoying this. I'm still just as happy. I am unbothered by their attempt to create scandal where none exists. Unbothered by that.
At once, I'll say it a million times. Not only is Meghan Markle hate forced, it's frankly boring. Her showing up at the Balenciaga show like this, face card undeniable, looking absolutely stunning. These are the moments that we were promised since she became the Duchess of Sussex. I feel like we are constantly in this conversation where people love to drag her, people love to talk about her. She is the name on everybody's lips, and yet this is undeniable. This is a show-stopping moment. Look at the material, y'all. Look at the material. I've said it once.
Okay. He said it once and he'll say it again. That is the Jared Alexander on TikTok. The Jared Alexander on TikTok. So I got to make sure I go over there and follow him, and I hope you all will too. But yeah, I just realized I have not followed him yet. And then there's this. You might recognize Tom Sykes. Now, I don't know if Tom Sykes is married or not, but her name is also something Sykes. This is a very short one, so I'll play it twice.
is however much people criticize her, however much they say that she's irrelevant, however much they want to get rid of her, the whole world is obsessed with this woman. Like, we can't stop looking at her. She is very beautiful. She's very kind of mysterious in a way, because we don't really understand her. There's a sort of unknowability to her because she's not really real. Do you know what I mean? And look, we're all talking about her today, and she was on the cover of every single newspaper, every single news feed in the world on Sunday in that white outfit. What I think is however much people criticize her, however much they say that she's irrelevant, however much they want to get rid of her, the whole world is obsessed with this woman. Like, we can't stop looking at her. She is very beautiful. She's very kind of mysterious in a way, because we don't really understand her. There's a sort of unknowability to her because she's not really real. Do you know what I mean? And look, we're all talking about her today, and she was on the cover of every single newspaper, every single news feed in the world on Sunday in that.
So I'm trying to understand the not really real. I don't know if that's a compliment, but I don't know if that's a dig either. The not really real. It's almost like she's saying you have to see her. She must be seen to be believed. The not really real may be in reference to how Meghan's stature has become a bit of a mystery. I mean, we know where it comes from, and then we don't know where it comes from. We don't understand exactly how this fixation of all things Meghan, we don't know how we've gotten here. I mean, we know what caused it, but how has it gone so far? But I think her beauty is definitely a huge part of it. Also, what originally made people so endeared to her was Suits, was her philanthropy and her humanitarian work. And so she's all those things. And now she's just like one of the most Googled woman in the world, right? So, but I think when a person says they're not real, it's because Meghan doesn't talk much. Meghan doesn't share a lot. And we go long periods, or now what seems like a long period, without knowing what Meghan is going to do next. And so I think that maybe that's what she means. Or she could be just shady. But she's not really real. I'm going to have to sit with that one for a while because I want to know what that means. Yeah. Yeah, it could be very well just talking out of both sides of her mouth. And you know what? If she's talking to Tom Sykes, that's a good place to be because he does it all the time. Yeah, she's got the jazz hands going. Wow, look at the size of her hands. I just noticed that. Good grief. Yeah, I'm gonna go with the talking out of both sides of her mouth. I'm gonna go with that one. Well, I tell you what, it was quite the surprise, and it was one hell of a weekend. Yeah, it the fact that Meghan was on every newspaper, and every like women's magazine out there has some article or story about Meghan. The one thing that I have always been fascinated with is how Meghan could take something that is not very flashy, something that is not very, over the top. Some of the most simple looks are made incredibly desirable because Meghan has worn it. Meghan can take something very simple, and then once she wears it, it becomes so elegant and so right for the moment. And it's so pathetic how so many of them have been trying to trash Meghan's choices of outfits for a long time. And every time, it's always Meghan that wins the day, not the critics, and certainly not the derangers. But the fashion magazines, any of the women's magazines, they usually spend a whole week going on and on and on about what Meghan wore. Now, at this point, you know what I usually do? I get out the power lunch video because that is one that I'm still trying to understand. And definitely I'm a fan. But for whatever reason, that very simple outfit was all that they talked about for a week. For a whole week. Meghan just put on something and went to lunch. And it was a big deal. Ready? Here we go.
How was your lunch, Meghan?
You're looking amazing, Meghan. You see what I mean? That was quite the moment. A moment that lasts for an entire week. A moment that lasts for an entire week. And I still don't know why. But I know it has something to do with Meghan's gift. And she does have a gift when it comes to clothes. And, you know, it almost makes me feel sad for you know who, because they're always pushing her to go out there and try to, you know, win the day. And it just doesn't work. It doesn't have the same type of inflection. It does not linger on the palate. Yeah, her taste in clothes, that other person, it doesn't linger on the palate. But Meghan's, it's like tasting something very delicious. And it just lingers on the palate. Hour later, you can still taste it, like, that really was good. I got to go back to that restaurant soon. So, yeah, that's just her gift. That's all to it. And as for the rest of them, oh, well, all I can say is try harder. Try harder. Okay. You know, I want to do the walk video where she walks in the room. Let me grab that one. I think I know how to do that. As that is like one of my favorites. I know at least one person has watched that over and over and over again. But all I can say is that makes two of us. Oh, there it is. There it is. Okay, are we ready? Let's do this, shall we? Let's do this. Okay, one more time. You know, I would love to see Megan and Tracy Ellis Ross. I would love to see them work on some project together. I think that would be fantastic. I really do think their personalities will complement each other very well. I would love to see them work on something, anything. I don't care. I don't care what it is. I think that they would really work well together. And also, let me just say this. I can think of a few people that Meghan could work well with. I'd like to see her do something with Serena. I don't think we get enough FaceTime with Meghan and Serena. I'd like to see her do something with her neighbor. What is her name? The one whose husband works at Paramount. Oh, I'm so embarrassed. I can't remember. The one that went to Jamaica. They were just so cute and funny together. They were so cute and funny together. Let me go ahead and show that. I'm only going to show that beginning part. But I thought that was just amazing. I want to see Meghan team up with some people for different things. I really do. I think that would be just so much fun. And if it's the cooking show, so be it. Okay, I'm going to skip ahead on this. Okay. There we go. Did you catch that? Did you catch that? It's so funny. I can't tell, but I kind of think that she was like teasing Meghan a bit by doing a little half a curtsy. Watch. And then Meghan touches her arm like, girl, stop. It is. I think that is so cute. That's why I say I know that they would be a riot together. She's just like lifting up the white skirt. She's like lifting the front of her skirt like Your Royal Highness. And Meghan's like, girl, stop. Okay, watch again. That's right, Tracy. Tracy, thank you so much. I just think that they are adorable, and I would love to see them work on something together. Okay. Let's see. Oh, well, we got to do this. I know, but we got to do this. Let's just do this really quick because I have neglected this for a few days, but I don't think I should do that any longer. So, oh, Megan was the perfect guest for Balenciaga. I did not see that earlier. Okay, I'll do that tomorrow. I'll do that one tomorrow. How about that? Yeah, I'll do that one tomorrow about Balenciaga. I think they just added that one. Okay, so where did I leave off? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Okay, so Cintabale accounts missed deadline, exposing 1.6 million deficit and bitter feud inside of charity. Cintabale's annual accounts were overdue September 30th, but were only released last week. The delay set the tone for a report that reveals a charity in turmoil. Reserves have collapsed. Polo matches have been scrapped. Did you all hear what I just said? Polo matches have been scrapped. No more polo matches. And founders Prince Harry and Prince So stepped back in solidarity with trustees who could no longer tolerate Sophie Chandaka's leadership. Instead of taking responsibility, Sophie has framed Harry's $1 million donation and polo fundraising as liabilities. uh, I wasn't sure I could say that. While presenting herself as the architect of a bold transformation. You go, girl. If you know what, if you can make that work, you go. No. I'm saying go. Like leave. So when Harry and Say So launched Cintabali in 2006, they built it on personal credibility and a promise to help vulnerable children in Lesotho and Botswana. In 2021, Harry pledged 1.5 million from his forthcoming memoir Spare to the charity. When the book was published globally in January 2023, the funds began flowing, spread over 3 years to sustain programs and fill funding gaps. Now, you know what? I did not know that. I thought it was like a, big publisher's clearinghouse check. I didn't realize that it was like over a 3 year period, which makes a lot of sense, especially when you got somebody like Sophie around. Polo fundraising was a crucial lifeline. The Cintabale ISPS Honda Polo Cup pulled in major sponsors and wealthy donors, with Harry on the field helping to raise nearly a fifth of the charity's income by 2023. Alongside that, his 1.2 million donation from Spare kept programs alive when the pandemic had battered fundraising across the sector. Yet Sophie tried to spin these lifelines as a liability, claiming they hide weaknesses while ignoring the universal pandemic impact on charities. What she leaves unsaid is that it was her leadership that alienated sponsors and burned money on costly consultants. Um, mm, mm, mm. Trustees walked out as Sophie refuses to step down. By late 2024, trustees warned Sentebale's financial model was unsustainable. The London office costs more than £650,000 annually. Corporate donors had disappeared and events carried growing risk. Sophie refused to reform or step down. In March of 2025, several trustees resigned in protest, and Harry and Cecil stepped back in solidarity. Their exit was a stand for integrity. Sophie responded by rushing to the media, accusing the board of bullying and using Polo as a distraction. She claimed matches mask structural weakness and that Harry's spare donation hid fault lines in the finances. The Charity Commission later finished its compliance review. It faulted all sides for letting disputes spill into the press, but it did not uphold Sophie's sweeping claims of bullying, racism, and misogyny. The regulator pointed out instead to governance gap left unresolved under her leadership. Sentebale accounts revealed a bleak picture. Reserves fell from £2.9 million to 567,000 in just 16 months. Free reserves collapsed to £232,000, leaving little buffer. Polo events, once a proven revenue stream, were scrapped altogether. Sophie framed this as progress. In the annual report, she wrote that Sentebale was stronger than ever and claimed that she had built a culture of psychological safety. She thanked family and allies for helping her through difficult days while ignoring the trustees who left over her refusal to resign. Meanwhile, fundraising costs climbed, programs funding shifted, and one failed financial deal left a $750,000 hole. Trustee Ian Rawlinson offered a different perspective. He said Polo definitely had its place because it attracted genuine generosity, but acknowledged that the London office forced reliance on Harry's visibility. His conclusion was stark. Harry's generosity covered years of overspending, and when it stopped, the cracks widened. That wasn't a crack, that was a crevasse. That was big enough to drop a school bus into. Media framing of the battle for the narrative. The row inside Sentebale has been fraught with not only in boardrooms, but also across the media, where headlines often echoed Sophie's framing. Outlets like GB News and The Telegraph reported that Polo fundraising was dropped as a way to distance the charity from Prince Harry, despite events generating nearly a fifth of the revenue in the previous years. Both repeated Sophie's claim that Polo masked structural weaknesses, positioning Harry's efforts as a liability rather than a lifeline. The Daily Mail even further, let's see. Well, I'll leave it there. The Daily Mail went even further with its coverage, amplified Sophie's narrative, describing her leadership as grueling but humbling, transformation while presenting Harry as a source of instability. Again, that's the Daily Mail. It claimed his spare donation masked financial cracks and highlighted her assertion that those who resigned in March launched an adverse media campaign against her. The Mail gave little weight on the fact that the Charity Commission did not uphold her bullying or racism allegations, instead spreading blame evenly between Harry Cecil and Sophie. All right, and this is the last part of this. This selective framing contrasts sharply with the financial reality. The commission acknowledged mismanagement but found no evidence of systematic bullying or misogyny. Trustees and donors loyal to Harry left because Sophie refused to step aside, not because of the polo matches or one of gifts. Yet large sections of the press have propped up her has propped her up as a reformer, reframing Harry's generosity and visibility as a weakness rather than the reason Sentabale survived for as long as it did. And the final thoughts? Prince Harry called himself utterly devastated when he resigned as part of the charity and he and Say So had built. Their exit was not about polo or a single donation. It was about standing with trustees against leadership that dismissed warnings and twisted lifelines into liabilities. As Sentabale marks his 20th year, Sophie continues to talk of bold transformations. Why does that make me laugh? Like she really gonna do something. The accounts instead show a weakened charity that has lost its founder, its donors, and much of its credibility. If Harry and Say So launched a new African organization, they may again carry forward their mother's legacy, leaving Sentabale as a cautionary tale of how poor leadership can fracture even the most promising mission. Thank you, Feminegra, for that amazing report. I love Feminegra. I do hope you guys sign up for their newsletter. Please do sign up for their newsletter. And you know what? We're almost done, you guys. We are almost done. I just got 2 slides. No polo. There'll be a hole in the middle of their finances. And these are some comments made about that newspaper article that we missed because we were looking at the Fashion Week. I kind of thought putting a stop to the jet set polo matches with all the glamorous PDA photos of Harry and Meghan going viral globally was one of the main reasons for the takeover. Why would anyone think the matches would continue without Harry? That's a good question. Someone else said, I see they had to add Harry's charity to the headline or it would be ignored. Yeah, so they added Harry's charity. You see there? Now Harry's charity, they had to add that just so that people would read it. Otherwise, this would have been mostly ignored. They thought the likes of Serena, Nacho, and others just went there to smile and look good. Those people donated serious money. They wanted William to take over. They can still ask him. Yeah, they could. I don't know how many of them would show up, but I wouldn't suspect Nacho would be there. Why are they calling it Harry's charity? Because they're being shady. That's why. And here's the last slide. There it is. That right there. As I said, William is not going to be alone in Brazil, right? He won't be alone. He can't be alone. I'm pretty sure that he'll have some people from Kensington Palace traveling with him. Don't know what to say about this image. It's just an image. It's just an image. A split second in time. It means nothing. I don't see anything other than them cheering for whoever they're cheering for. That's all I see. Right? I mean, that is all I see, right? Right. Anyway, thank you all so much for joining us here on Royal Sussex. Thank you so much for the generous contributions as well as a new membership. Also, thank you to the moderators for keeping this a very safe space. Oh, are you talking about Lorraine Kelly? Yeah. That Lorraine Kelly show? Lorraine. You know, very few of them have actually said how beautiful Meghan looked. They just will not say it. Most of them refuse to acknowledge how amazing she looks. And so I can't help but think that if they do not acknowledge that, then they definitely have a great deal of bias coming out of them. And I just don't care to be bothered with people like that. Meghan is absolutely gorgeous. And I hear that seeing Meghan on television is one thing, but in person, she's even more beautiful. It's just something about her that just captures your notice. So it's like when your eyes meet hers, that's pretty much all you can think about. That's what they say. As Harry said, there was a long conveyor belt and it did not stop until I found Meg. So I'll take him at his word. Mary H., I'm just saying is I don't see anything here but just a picture. That's all I see. That's all I see is a picture. Plus, there's people standing around. So I'm sure it's just a picture. It is kind of funny, though, isn't it? Well, one of the more interesting things that I've heard all weekend and into early this week was about the little travel show that William participated in. How William is trying desperately to avoid speaking to a real journalist, someone who would try to get him on the record. Yeah, that he's avoiding that as much as he can. Oh, Zabeda, thank you so much for joining us. Miss Simpson TV, yeah, that's why they won't acknowledge her. Yep, they just can't see themselves doing that. Well, as they were saying, that there were people that were walking around half naked trying to get as much attention as possible. And enters Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, and all eyes turn to our Duchess. They said that everyone in the room at one point or the other was holding their phones up, recording videos, and taking pictures. Okay, then I'm going to say goodnight. Love you guys. Thank you so much for everything. And I do mean everything. And I will see you tomorrow. I don't have any errands to run tomorrow. So hopefully I will make it on sooner rather than later because I do miss some of the earlier in the day people. So I'm going to do the very best I can. Sometimes my schedule is all over the place. Also, can we talk about this again? Can we talk about this again? You guys, that is just the most beautiful cookware I have ever owned in my life. So I got to get some fish because I intend to make some fish first, and then I'm going to do the one pot spaghetti or the one pot pasta. I should do the one pot pasta first. I came very close, but I keep forgetting the cherry tomatoes. But yeah, anyway, thank you to the squatty who has gifted me this heirloom quality cookware along with the roasting pans. This is just the most extraordinary thing. And yesterday I could barely talk about it because I started getting a bit choked up, but um it's incredible. It's incredible. I just keep looking at it. I'm just like, did that really happen? So, yep, absolutely gorgeous. And nothing beats the even temperature that you get throughout the entire cookware, thanks to cast iron. Cast iron is a great conductor of heat. So I don't know what I did to deserve it, but thank you so much. I am humbled. Oh, thank you, Sandra. So before everybody, so long before everybody, I want to be able to go to sleep until about 6 a.m. Okay, Sonia Johnson, sleep well. Thank you, Connie Bomber. Thank you so much. Blessed night to you as well. Right, right. Or go on QVC or something. That would be fun. Ciao to you, Dr. Dredd. I usually don't like anything on my stove, but this is on my stovetop. In a place of pride on my stovetop. This is the one that I will leave on the stovetop. This one doesn't go in the oven. This one doesn't go in the cupboards. This stays on the stovetop. Okay. All right. Good night, and good night.